Shabbat Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Hakwadash, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Shalom. This lesson is going to be going into this nurse that was arrested for abusing newborn children, and just the perpetual hatred that Esau Edom has against Jake. Esau Edom being the so-called white man, and Jake being the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And we're here in our captivity, which mirrors the captivity in Egypt. This is the land you can read about that's also spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. So this is the land of bondage. This is the land of our captivity, and we're behind enemy lines, surrounded by our enemies. So this is Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 5. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to start up a little bit. I'm going to start up to verse 1. It says, "Moreover, the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it." So Mount Seir, this represents Esau Edom. You can have the mountain. It's not talking about the actual mountain, Mount Seir. Because even here, you can go to the breakdown here. It says Mount Seir represents Esau Edom, Genesis 36 and verse 8. So let's go look at that real quick because it references it. So Genesis 36, 8. So thus Esau, Genesis chapter 36 and verse 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. So here you go, telling you, Esau dwelt in Mount Seir, and Esau is Edom. So anytime you see these things, it's interchangeable. Now, it's not all the time, but if for this instance, it's Esau dwells in Mount Seir, Esau is Edom. The same, similar when the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is talking about Israel. You can say, Jerusalem. He could say, Jacob, Israel, Zion. Those things are interchangeable for the same thing. And that's just an example, whereas Zion is the mountain, and these are interchangeable, just for example. So again, Genesis chapter 36, verse 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. Verse 9. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. So, it just goes on to give it, his descendants. And we can just go back. Ezekiel 35 and verse 5. Ezekiel 35 and verse 2. Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. So these are prophecies against Mount Seir, against Esau Edom, the so-called white man, who is no longer going by the name Esau Edom. He's going by the terms, the made-up terms, white or American or whatever, English, British, French. He's going by a different name, but in reality, he's a descendant of Esau Edom. He's an Edomite. Verse 3, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is letting you know through his prophets that he is against you. Here in Babylon the Great, they have this saying, make America great again, God bless America, this, that, whatever, God loves America, whatever they want to say, which in reality, the God of the Bible, whose name is Yahweh, his son's name is Yahushai, he is completely against this place, and he is going to destroy it. This place is going to be a pile of smoldering rubble when Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is done with this place. So hey, there ain't no gonna be great again, none of that stuff. Because hey, this place was made great by the blood, sweat, tears of the Israelites. That's how this place was built up. You know, and it was never great. So again, Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 3, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And so your cities are going to be laid waste. You know, right now you're seeing, you know, famines, you know, different things, different diseases popping off, you know, economic collapse. If you look up, I like to go to this page. It's like signs of societal collapse. And, you know, you look at what's going on here in Babylon the Great, it's fitting all the different criteria for a collapse. And then ultimately, hey, this place is going to be plagued. You have fires going on in one part of the country. You have freezing going on in the other. You have earthquakes. You have pestilences. All these things, hey, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is plaguing this place. And that ultimate plague that's coming to lay this place completely desolate are those ICBM missiles. You know, those thermonuclear fire that's coming, along with the lasers from the chariots. So this place is slated to be destroyed. It is going to be destroyed off the earth. So again, Ezekiel 35 and verse 4, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. So you had a perpetual hatred against the people of Israel, a perpetual hatred since the beginning, since Jacob and Esau. You know, Jacob hated Esau because he got the blessing, and he wants it back, and you've had a hatred ever since then. So a perpetual hatred. So I looked up that word. Perpetual in the dictionary. This is perpetual. This is lasting forever or for an indefinitely long time. So this is a hatred that's been forever. You know, forever going on, and it's not gonna end. You know, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is gonna put an end to this. He's gonna put you in subjection. You know, under the Israelites. But ever since you've been ruling, ever since you've been on the earth, there's been a hatred. Set up to be in effect or have tenure for an unlimited duration. It says continuing uninterrupted. So you've had a hatred that's been lasting forever, an indefinite long time. You don't know how long. You know, but you can tell that that's a serious hatred. You know, perpetual. You always hating. Even now, when it looks like, hey, we're supposed to be at peace. You know, slavery, integration, and we're all supposed to be getting along, and high-fiving each other and all that. But it's not so. So because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and let's look at this word hatred as well. This is H342, hostility, or ayaba, and it's H342 ayaba. It says hostility and enmity, a hatred. So hostility, you've had a endless hatred towards us, an endless hostility. To be hostile, to be an enemy. And I mean, if you have spiritual eyes to see, if the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has opened your eyes to see it, you can see that these people have been hostile towards us, towards the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, forever. You can see it. Even when, Cristobal Colon came over here, they weren't hostile towards the The natives weren't hostile. The so-called natives weren't hostile to Cristobal Colon. But what did he do? He said it would be a shame, not to put these people into slavery, roughly paraphrasing, and then started slaughtering them. Is that not hatred? Ezekiel 35 and verse 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. So if there was a time when our punishment was supposed to come to an end, and they did not let up, even after we were let up out of slavery, even after Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, he what is it? He let up on the slavery to captivity. Hey, they did not let up. This is Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Let me read that again. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So because you like blood so much, blood is coming for you. Since you didn't hate blood, you enjoyed blood, you reveled in it, and guess what? Blood is now going to pursue you. Now you're going to be on the receiving end. So this is an article from 12onyourside.com, and this says bond denied for former NICU nurse charged with abuse. And you see her picture right here. It says Erin Elizabeth Ann Stropman has been charged with child abuse, neglect, and malicious wounding. And this is from January 13th. And what's today's date? 14th. Okay. And this happened late last year, like November, and no telling how long she's been doing this, but it says this is I don't know if it's Henrico or Enrico, I think it's Virginia, a former NICU nurse charged with injuring premature babies was denied bond Monday morning. Erin Stropman, you see her picture right there, that leprous demon. Erin Stropman, 26, of Chesterfield, Virginia, is facing charges of malicious wounding, child abuse, and neglect, and serious injury after a 2024 incident at Enrico Doctors Hospital. Stropman, a pediatric nurse, was placed on leave from the hospital due to the alleged incidents that happened late last year. A criminal complaint against Stropman says a 5-month-old boy was found with multiple leg and rib fractures in November 2024. Now, this is what they're coming out and saying, they're saying that this is one case, but there's several. One source says there's half a dozen, and there could be more. No telling how many more. But this is what she got caught doing, and this is the people that reported the incidents. So, a criminal complaint against Stropman says a 5-month-old boy, and they're not saying the races of these children either, but in other articles, you can see the parents. You can see the parents are Jakes. They're not given the identities, but you can see that the parents are Jakes. You can see that these people are either so-called Latinos, or which they could be Native Americans, or it could be Negroes. But you could tell that they're Jakes, and she's doing this to Jake babies. So as a criminal complaint against Stropman says a 5-month-old boy was found with multiple leg and rib fractures in November 2024. The complaint also says there is video evidence of Stropman taking the baby by the legs and applying pressure. So they have video evidence of this bitch doing this stuff. It says Miss Stropman was observed to be placing her weight down on the legs of the boy, and these are boys that she did this to. So when I'm saying that, our afflictions are mirroring, what happened in ancient Egypt, which we're in spiritual Egypt now. What were they doing in ancient Egypt? They were the order was to kill the boys, save the women, children alive, but kill the boys, the men child. So Miss Stropman was observed to be placing her weight down on the legs of the boy. Miss Stropman was observed then taking both legs and pushing them backwards to where the boy's feet were at his head, the complaint said. So she would take both the baby boy's legs in the NICU. These are already, premature babies pretty much. And then she would be, fucking, I don't even know how to describe that. That's like wrapping them like pretzels or something like that. This is a fucking evil bitch. The complaint says the baby appeared to be crying and in distress. Miss Stropman was then observed moving the left leg back and forth, to which it is observed the leg to not be consistent with a non-fractured leg of a juvenile, that again and condition. So let me read that again. Miss Stropman was then observed moving the left leg back and forth, to which it is observed the leg to not be consistent with a fractured leg of a juvenile, at that again and condition. Maybe I don't understand medical jargon. The complaint said Miss Stropman then moved the right leg, and it was observed the right leg did not move freely back and forth as the left leg. Okay, so the right leg was fractured and messed up, while the left leg was not. Okay. Stropman is being held at Henrico Jail West. Said additional cases of suspected abuse. A report from the Virginia Department of Health shed light on the instances of abuse in the NICU from 2023. So just going back, she's only been a nurse for about 6 years, but this is going back another year. So this was the end of last year where she had a few cases, which there's probably no telling how many cases are going to come up, that she's done this to, how many babies she's got away with, or how many are not recorded. But then this is going back to 2023, and no telling when this is going back, Additional cases of suspected abuse. A report from the Virginia Department of Health shed light on the instances of suspected abuse in the NICU from 2023. The VDH requires all suspected abuse cases in hospitals to be reported within 24 hours, but the report found that did not happen in the case of 4 premature babies. So I guess abuse cases, some of this might have gone under the radar because they weren't reported in time. There's no word yet of any other charges will be filed in those areas. Okay, that's the end of that article. Now this other one, I'm not really going to focus on anything in the article. It's just the picture is closer. I can probably just open that up. You look at this broad here, and I'm going to go to Numbers chapter 12 and verse 10. And I'm just going to get straight to the point. It says, and the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, as white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. So when you let a Christian tell it, when it's talk about leprosy, they'll put somebody that like the skin is falling off of them, and they look like a fucking burn victim or some shit. But whereas leprosy is a skin disease, which you have different types of leprosy. There's leprosy that can be in your house, which is like dealing with mold. And then you have leprosy dealing with the skin, which today would be called vitiligo. When people, you see it with Jake, you see certain Jake, like their skin will start blotching, it'll start turning white. But it's leprosy. So here again, Numbers chapter 12 and verse 10, and the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, whereon we have done foolishly, wherein we have sinned. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he cometh out of his mother's womb. So they're saying this is a sin to look like this, and she looks consumed. She looks like her flesh is she looks like a stillborn baby, and it said her skin is leprous, it's white as snow. And you look at this lady has leprosy. This is the mark that these people have. You can see the color showing through her. But that's, just looking at that, I just noticed that Esau came out, the same thing Esau came out. He says, let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he cometh out of his mother's womb. So even Esau himself, to show you this is a descendant of Esau, let's go to this. This is Genesis 25. Let's see around 22. And I'll start at verse 22. And Genesis 25 and verse 22, and the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So she went to a prophet. The prophet told her what was going on, and Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. So you have 2 nations in your womb. 2 manner of people, 2 separate kind of people, one righteous and one wicked. They don't get along. The one people shall be stronger than the other. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So one people gonna be stronger than the other. The elder shall serve the younger. That's it'll tell you when it comes out. This is 24. And when her days to be fulfilled, when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So he came out red, meaning that his skin was that same color as that like how it described in Numbers. Also had that picture, like one that was dead out of the mother's womb, like a stillborn. His skin came out all translucent. His blood was showing all through his skin. And they called his name Esau. So, and the first came out red all over like an hairy garment. So not like he wasn't hairy. He wasn't, not saying he was hairy, but he came out red all over, because the garments, the ancient hairy garments back then, they dyed red. So he came out looking red all over because his blood was showing through his skin. And they called his name Esau. So his name Esau meaning wasted away. So he came out looking like a dead child, like a stillborn. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 70 years old when she bare them. So Jacob isn't described because he came out normal. He came out looking like a normal, healthy baby boy. Whereas Esau, he came out looking like it's described here. Let's see here. Numbers 12 and verse 10. 12 and verse 12. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed, when he cometh out of his mother's womb. So he came out looking dead. Verse 10. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. So she was white, super, super white. Let's look at this here. H7950 Shalag says snow, probably from its whiteness. So you don't see that right there? You don't see that? Oh, ugly bitch. Anyway, continuing on, I noticed that from the picture. Just identifying who Esau is. Now, Esau, Edom, you can have chocolate Edomites, all that kind of stuff. Esau has mingled amongst the nations. Esau has been mingled amongst the nations. Israel has been scattered amongst all the different nations. So you might have some Israelites that are lepers, that don't have any pigment. And these things are judged by the Spirit. And you can judge by the Spirit, this bitch is a fucking Edomite. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48. And these are the curses. You can start up at verse 15. It says, if you do not do everything that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai says, roughly paraphrasing, all these curses are going to come upon you. They're going to pursue you. They're going to chase after you. There's nowhere you can run. There's no way you can escape these curses. So this is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. So we have to go to our enemies for everything, for work, for food, for air, for water, for electricity, for housing, for clothing. Even here, the hospitals. You have to, if you have a woman, you have children in here in Babylon the Great, you got to go to the hospitals unless you figure out, somewhere to go where they have a homeopathic way. Where they can have a midwife. I've heard of some brothers doing that, where they have a natural kind of birth. But other than that, you got to go through, you're at the mercy of your enemies here. So you would have to go to the hospital here. And this is what you have here at these fucking hospitals, surrounded by your enemies, at the schools, surrounded by your enemies, at all these different places, constantly surrounded by your enemies. People that fucking hate you, that don't want your benefit, that don't want, that look at you as beneath them. And this is what they're doing. This is, this is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai shall send against thee. So, hey, these are your enemies, but Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai sent them against us. Everything is by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Nothing happens without his consent. So guess what? In the case of this lady being in NICU, being able to twist the legs of these young jakes, guess what? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai sent her. He sent that demon. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. If you look up yoke of iron, Jake's going to pop up in the images. Jake's going to pop up with the yoke of iron. Who else did this happen to? And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. So during the time, the slavery, the transatlantic slave trade, all these things where they came and got, the Jake from the lands, whether from Africa, whether before from Africa, they came here to the Americas. They were speaking a language you couldn't understand. And I can't even remember what the ships are called. I want to say galleons, but that seems like a later date. But their ships were swift. And the point being that they're speaking a language that you could not understand. They're speaking, romantic languages. They're speaking, whether it be, or romantic being like Germanic, English, Spanish, French, those kind of languages. Verse 50, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. So they have a fierce countenance towards us. This is a nation that has a proud look. as fierce as the eagle. They're not going to show, you already see, they don't show any favor to the elderly here. They're not going to show any favor to the young. And this article here is showing that they're not showing any favor to the young. Here it is. These are newborn, newborn babies already in the NICU. That's an intensive care unit, for whatever reason. And those children need extra care. And here she is fucking grabbing them by the legs and sitting on the ribs and all that kind of shit. But just showing this is the nation that's not. This is a nation that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai sent against us. These are those Edomites. This is Psalm 17 and verse 13. Arise, O Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. So Esau Edom, he's going to be disappointed. And Esau Edom his blessing was the sword. You can read about that in Genesis 27. And this is the wicked. You can read that in Malachi chapter 1. And this is who's currently ruling right now. In Job 9 and 24, the wicked is in rulership right now. But disappoint him. Because he thinks that he's just going to get away with this forever and ever. He's just going to be doing stuff like this and, nothing's going to come of it. But the Israelites are the apple of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai's eye. And this ain't going to be forever. The tables are going to turn. These curses are going to go upon you Edomites. This is Psalm 17 and verse 13. Arise, O Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, from men which are thy hand, O Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life, whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. They are full of children, and lead the rest of their substance to their babes. So, their children don't have to go through this. They don't have to worry about things like this. Constant mistreatment. Constant gaslighting, mistreatment, all kinds of abuse, constantly have to put up with. But all that's turning around. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 25 and verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and a tenth I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. So, those are things that are deemed to be happy. A man that have joy of his children. When Yahushai returns with the chariots, gathers his elect, put these heathens' lights out, subdues their armies. Then when the earth is quiet, we'll be able to enjoy our children. We'll be able to fully enjoy them. And know that they're going to dwell in peace. They're not going to have to be around these weirdos. You're not going to have to worry about whether your children going to school is going to be indoctrinated, to be a Mo, or to think that he's a pony or some kind of animal or anything like that, or nothing. Or have to worry about your kid being touched by some fucking receding hairline fucking weirdo. You're not gonna have to worry about that. You're not gonna have to worry about your children being mauled by dogs. You're not gonna have to worry about that, because how about Shem Yahushai? He's gonna put his spirit within us. We're gonna have the law, statutes, and commandments in us, and the curses are gonna be far, far away from us. They're gonna be put on our enemies. And we're going to be able to fully enjoy our children. knowing that they're gonna grow up, safe. That they're gonna grow up and fully grow up, enjoy being a child. So there be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue, a man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. So we're at the end where we're seeing our enemy, Esau Edom, falling. We're seeing everything falling around him. His leadership turned against each other. That their housing collapse, their minds collapse. Seeing their minds break, seeing that their leadership that they thought was looking out for them is bringing in more outside help. We're seeing these people fall, and ultimately, Lord willing, we get to make it to see this place get destroyed by the ICBMs. Because that's going to be the ultimate fall, because they're not coming back after that. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 and verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. So Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is going to recompense. He's going to give you all you nations, where we've been scattered to, starting with you, Esau, Edom, you're going to get a payback. You're going to get it way worse than what we got it. You thought you were big and bad with doing all this kind of stuff? Well, guess what? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, we don't even know how bad you're going to get it, but we know you're going to get it worse. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you, and to you who are troubled, rest with us. So this truth is the rest. This truth is a little sanctuary. This truth has everything in it. It's bitter, it's sweet, it's comforting. This truth has everything that's required. There's nothing lacking in this. And to you who are troubled, rest with us when the Lord, Yahweh Shai, shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels. So right now we're getting rest, and we're waiting for Yahweh Shai to return. The same way he left in the cloud, he's coming back in the clouds. We're waiting for him and the angels to come back in those chariots. And to you who are troubled, rest with us when the Lord Yahweh Shai shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels in flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So he's going to be taking vengeance on all the world. And he's going to save his elect. And that obey not the gospel of the Lord Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. So even the 2/3 of Israel, even you Israelites that are calling yourselves Israelites, that aren't truly following, the doctrine of Yahweh Shai, even y'all are going to get that. Y'all are going to feel that heat. But primarily this is focusing on you, Esau, Edom. Because when Yahweh Shai is coming to put destruction, to put the hurting on you. So in flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and that obey not the gospel of our Lord Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his power. So you're going to get a terrible destruction when Yahweh Shai returns. And that's pretty much it. And Lord willing, is edifying. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash, and peace and blessings to the 144,000. A Shabbat Shalom. Peace.